Today I'm starting with a question, and it's, are you willing to die for your faith? Are you willing to die for your faith? That's what I want to talk about today. So welcome back to Jesus Joy Global. My name is Sarah if you're new here, so thank you for tuning in. I just wanted to talk about just a few things on my heart today, really just regarding the world that we're living in, our freedom that we have, freedom that others don't have around the world, and really just talk about that. So basically what got me thinking about this was this morning I read an article on Prophecy News Watch, and some of you might be familiar with that, but typically every day they send different headlines having to do with prophecy, things that are going on around the world and different events. And I'll link their website in the description box below. But basically today there was an article talking about Christian persecution around the world and basically how we don't hear about it on the news or on media. Like if I didn't read that article this morning, I wouldn't have heard about a lot of the things that the article mentioned. And you can go and read the article yourself. I just want to touch on a couple of things that the article said. One of the things, more than 18,000 Christian churches have been set on fire in Nigeria since 2009. 2,200 Christian schools in Nigeria have been set on fire since 2009. In North Korea, you can be arrested, shipped off to concentration camps, or even put to death for being a Christian. Even owning a Bible is a serious crime. North Korea literally has laws against Christianity, against being a Christian, practicing your faith, sharing your faith. And then the article also talked about things going on in Pakistan and India. And those were just a few things that I jotted down. But as I read that article this morning, I just got like this sinking feeling like, Lord, help us to share our faith. Help us to be bold. Like those of us that are living in the United States and other places around the world that, you know, we have a lot of freedom still. I can make this video and share the gospel and, you know, share my faith with others, really without a thought of any type of persecution, like I just mentioned here about, you know, being put to death or being taken off to a concentration camp. And every other Christian in the United States or other countries where they have freedom, we need to be bold. We need to be using the freedom that we have right now to be sharing the gospel while we can. Because the article went on to say that basically as the years go by, if the Lord tarries in returning, the persecution will escalate. I mean, it's hard to really think about that because here in America, at least, we've always had our freedom of religion. You know, we've always had the ability to go to church and share the gospel. Like we've never really had people pushing back on that per se, but we're moving into different times. And so as I read that article this morning, it just made me think like, how strong is my faith? How deep is my trust and my faith in the Lord that if it comes to death, am I willing to die for the gospel? And in my heart, in my mind, I say yes. And I guess that's why I wanted to pose this question to you guys. And I know there's listeners from all over the world. So I know I'm not just talking to people in the United States. I know there's many of you from everywhere. So I don't know what it's like in your country or exactly where you live. But I'm just asking every single Christian that has the ability to share the gospel, to share your faith, to do it, to not hold back, to be bold, to go in power like the Bible directs us to, not in fear, not in worry, not in wondering what they're going to think about me, or I guess I'll just keep quiet because I'm not a speaker, or I'm not a teacher, or I'm not a prophet. And sorry, they're doing landscaping outside, of course. Every time I go to do a video, the condo landscapers come. So anyway, if you hear something in the back, that's what it is. So anyway, as I read that article this morning, I just felt such an urgency. Like, those of us that have the ability and the freedom to share the gospel, we need to step it up even more for the people in the other countries and the other places that can't. Some of them probably do share their faith and they get killed for it, or they get dragged off to some type of camp where they're worked to death. But there's those of us that have the freedom, we have the ability, we need to be a louder voice, especially for those who really don't have the freedom to share. So really, this video is just a plea and a cry that I just felt on my heart this morning, just to inspire other believers to share the gospel as much as you possibly can. And while we have the ability to and the freedom to, which we might not have here soon enough, because I heard recently how even posting a Bible verse may be illegal at some point. And I don't remember that article. I just know that I had seen it in passing. And maybe some of you have heard about that as well. But I mean, come on. If you can't even post a Bible verse without that being illegal or some type of pushback, we are heading into very scary times right now. So on behalf of every single persecuted Christian around the world, every single martyr, every single one that gave their life for the gospel of Jesus Christ, I'm asking you to please do whatever your part is in that. And I'm talking to myself too, because I know there's things and that I could share more, or even with more people. But if we each contribute, if we each share our testimony or our story, or maybe the Lord puts something on your heart, or he's asking you to do something, now is the time to do it as we move into this new Hebrew year. Now is the time to go through the door, to go through the gate into what he's calling us into. And quite honestly, we don't know when the Lord is returning. We know that all the signs are pointing to it's very, very close, but no one knows the day nor the hour. And the Bible tells us to occupy until he comes. So whatever that looks like for you, and I probably sound like a broken record sometimes on these videos, but I just ask you guys, on behalf of all of the people that really can't share, or they're literally in hiding because of their faith, I'm just asking you to share in any way that you can to spread the gospel. And like I said, I'll link Prophecy News Watch in the description below if you want to check it out. Sign up for their daily emails. There's a lot of good information that they send over that's actual news going on and not the fake news that we know about. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope this landscaping noise that's going on outside didn't ruin this. Hopefully you guys can hear this. So God bless you, and until next time, we'll see ya.